It would be easy to dismiss the Christian fundamentalist opponents of rock as extremists, but here in the USA, they have substantial mainstream support. An influential group of concerned parents, headed by the wives of Secretary of State James Baker and presidential candidate Albert Gore, have successfully campaigned to get the record industry to put warning stickers like these on some albums. And they even managed to make rock music the subject of a Senate hearing.
The material we're concerned about cannot be compared with Louie Louie, Cole Porter, Billie Holiday, etc. Cole Porter's The Birds Do It, The Bees Do It can hardly be compared with Wasp, I-F-U-C-K, Like a Beast. The proliferation of songs glorifying rape, sadomasochism, incest, the occult, and suicide by a growing number of bands illustrates this escalating trend that is alarming. Some have suggested...
Washington wives, Susan Baker and Tipper Gore, set up the Parents Music Resource Center, or PMRC, because, they claimed, they were so shocked by the content of some pop songs. Their aim? To warn other parents about the danger music poses to the youth of America.
Recently, Shana Easton Sugar Walls, which is really a fairly graphic song about female genital arousal, has been on the charts and it's played 10 to 12 times a day.
I can show you things you never see. I can make you never wanna fall in love again. Come spend the night inside my sugar walls.
I bought the Purple Rain album for our 11-year-old. And I didn't know that Darling Nikki was on it, and I felt that it was inappropriate for her and her 8- and 6-year-old sister to hear a song describing a girl masturbating in a hotel lobby with a magazine. I had no warning. In fact, all I knew was from that Prince was the new creative teen idol on the scene and had just received a Grammy Award. So I would have appreciated it if I had known that before purchase.
John, thank you very much.
But the rock musicians themselves were under no illusions about the threat the PMRC and their warning stickers posed to music. John Denver was the first to express outrage at the proposals.
Mr. Chairman, the suppression of a people, of a society, begins, in my mind, with the censorship of the written or spoken word. It was so in Nazi Germany. It is so in many places today where those in power are afraid of the consequences of an informed and educated people. My song, Rocky Mountain High, was banned from many radio stations as a drug-related song. This was obviously done by people who'd never seen or been to the Rocky Mountains. May I be very clear that I'm strongly opposed to censorship of any kind in our society or anywhere else in the world.
Next on the witness stand was heavy metal singer Dee Snider. His band, Twisted Sister, were specifically targeted during the hearing for alleged violent lyrical content.
I'd like to tell the committee a little bit about myself. I'm 30 years old. I'm married. I have a 3-year-old son. I was born and raised a Christian, and I still adhere to those principles. Believe it or not, I do not drink, I do not smoke, and I do not do drugs. I pride myself on writing songs that are consistent with my above-mentioned beliefs. The video for We're Not Gonna Take It was simply meant to be a cartoon with human actors playing variations on the Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote theme. It strikes me that the PMRC may have confused our video presentation for this song with the meaning of the lyrics. Parents can thank the PMRC for reminding them that there is no substitute for parental guidance, but that is where the PMRC's job ends.
So why did the recording industry give in to the demands of the PMRC and agree to sticker records when the artists themselves expressed such strong opposition to what they see as the beginnings of censorship?
During that time, the industry was facing states, some 18 states trying to pass laws which would mandate the use of a parental advisory logo, but not the handsome little black and white one that we had been using voluntarily, but rather a large fluorescent sticker that had a list of sins ranging from bestiality and necrophilia to alcoholism and adultery. We defeated the legislation in all 18 states, but we're told time and time again by those state legislators that if they didn't feel the voluntary standard parental advisory logo was working and working well, that they would come back with their state laws and they would press for passage of those state laws.
So how come the censors have got this far? Why is the recording industry being blamed for antisocial behaviour?
Because the problems that face our youth today seem so insurmountable, be it AIDS or teenage suicide or drug abuse, teen pregnancy, what have you, because those problems are so difficult to address and to begin to solve that people rather are looking for an easy way out and are looking for a scapegoat. And they are blaming rock music and they're blaming the arts. And that's unfortunate.
Attempts to sticker and censor rock musicians have led to howls of outrage from anti-censorship groups. Suzanne Stefanak heads one such organization in San Francisco.
I think the fact that the major labels are imposing labeling on some of their artists is fairly laughable. The criterion used are totally arbitrary. I think they're of no use to the parents if that's who they're aiming them at. And in many cases, they serve as buying incentives for children who want to listen to something that their parents wish they wouldn't.
But if you can be opposed to labeling, but surely labeling of records isn't censorship.
Labeling is censorship because many of the major distributors have already said that they will not carry any albums that have a label that might be considered questionable. And if there is no distribution for the album, then the record labels aren't going to let them, artists record what they like. And so there is, in fact, a chilling effect and censorship.
Just take a look around to what you see. Pain, suffering, and misery.
To add weight to their case, the opponents of rock have searched small-town America for individuals with powerful and emotive stories, which have provided the Christian fundamentalists with some of their most potent propaganda. When he was 16, John Tanner was an average high school student with a passion for Black Sabbath. One day he had a row with his girlfriend over the phone. After she hung up on him, he went to his room, put a shotgun to his head, and fired.
All the days that I shot myself, I skipped out of school and I just pretty much sat at my room all day and listened to, I don't know, Black Sabbath and Grand Funk and, I'd work myself into a state of mind that, I was taking everything as really depressing. And that evening, about 4:30 or so, got in an argument with my girlfriend on the phone, and then I figured, that was it, and went upstairs and just grabbed my shotgun and put it up under my jaw and said, "Oh God, I'm coming home," and hit the trigger. I'd never considered suicide, till I was like about 15 and really started getting into rock and roll. And, songs like Killing Yourself to Live and stuff had just really, I was taking all this to heart really much. I guess, I'd have to say that they did, the words and stuff did have a big influence on me. And, like I said too, each person has control of their own what they had let influence them, but at that time in my life, I was totally committed to listening to Black Sabbath, and I really got off to them a lot.
So when the kid mutilates himself, or murders, or rapes, or takes drugs, and then says, it was rock music that made me do it, is there not a case to be answered?
No, that poor kid had tremendous problems before, during, and after he was listening to rock music. I do not believe that a record and a record alone can force young people to do some of the things that rock music in our industry is being blamed for today. Again, I think people are looking for scapegoats. You know, if your kid is sitting in his room listening to the same record over and over for 8 hours, I don't care what that record is, you might want to think about knocking on the door and saying, Johnny, is everything okay in there?